24th, 2019 regular meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Here.
Councilwoman McGraw, absent. Councilman McPartlin.
Here.
Councilwoman Weber.
Here.
Supervisor Syed.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Councilman McPartlin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes. First, we have the minutes from the May 28th, 2019 regular meeting of the town board. Do I have any changes to these minutes?
I'm going to make a motion to lay all of the minutes aside. Councilman Delarada has indicated to me that he has not had a chance to review these minutes, and Councilwoman McGraw is not here and also has not had a chance to review them. She's dealt with a family emergency.
Okay, so you're making a motion to table approval of all of the minutes collectively?
That is correct.
Okay, do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, seeing none, all those minutes are tabled until the next meeting. Before we head into a privilege of the floor, I'm actually going to call up Greta Merrill to join me at the front, and we're going to do our ceremonial resolution first. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. So for those of you who don't know, Greta Merrill spearheaded a very important initiative. You've probably driven over the new crosswalk that is in front of Town Hall that connects the Town Hall to the library. So Greta approached the town with a list of signatories on a petition to have that crosswalk installed. And it was part of her Girl Scout Silver Award, correct? And she just did such a phenomenal job spearheading that initiative, coming and talking with me, our deputy town attorney, various town board members, attending committee meetings, and also speaking very bravely during privilege of the floor at one town board meeting and also at a planning board meeting. So she took incredible initiative for a young woman of her age. And I am now going to read the final clause. This town board, on behalf of the residents of the town of Niskayuna, does hereby recognize and thank Greta Merrill for her efforts to advance pedestrian safety in the town of Niskayuna by making public facilities more accessible through the installation of crosswalks, and to be it further resolved that the town clerk on behalf of this town board be, and she hereby is authorized and directed to present Greta Merrill with a copy of this resolution. So congratulations tonight, Greta. We're so proud of you. And thank you so much for the impact that you've made in this town. The changes you have made to improve the safety in this town will be felt for years to come. So congratulations. We're now going to move on to our committee reports. Actually, no, I skipped one step. We're going to move on to privilege of the floor. So privilege of the floor is now open if anyone would like to speak.
Amy Howansky, 2833 Whitmire Drive. During the last 2 weeks, there have been 2 times that there was a horrendous smell coming from the wastewater treatment facility. We could not even open our windows during this lovely weather because the smell would have filled the house. Residents of Whitmire Drive continue to be affected by the wastewater treatment facility upgrade project. Second point, on the minutes from July 23rd, which are included in our packets tonight, my comments read as follows. Whitmire Drive experiences issues with garbage pickup, and that Garbage Services informed her that there is not adequate space for their trucks to turn around at the end of their street due to vehicles that are parked at the end of the street. I would like that amended to indicate, as I did during those comments, that those vehicles are from the construction that was going on at the wastewater treatment facility, which made it impossible for 5 out of 15 times for the garbage company to access the garbage on my street for several residents. And that garbage sat out on the street for multiple days because the construction trucks were in the way, preventing garbage vehicles from turning around on our dead-end street. Third, I am concerned that you have set aside 3 sets of minutes tonight. Ironically, in one of those meeting packets, I am listed as commenting about those very concerns that the town was already delayed multiple months in approving minutes and having them available to the public. I believe I've mentioned this even more than what's indicated in this packet. Also, ironically, these minutes seem to line up with comments made by members of Progressive Schenectady, and I'd like to have this rectified. I'd like to have the minutes approved and entered into the public domain so that the public can access them. Really, you should be up to date month to month. Last month's meeting minutes should be approved at the next month's meeting. This is very upsetting that we continue to see these meeting minutes not accessible to the public. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sunny Lee, 117 Comanche Trail. I too noticed that approval of the minutes since May have not been made at these board meetings. Last board meeting, there were some draft minutes posted and then pulled, tabled, and the same thing is happening today. I'm just wondering what the problem is. I understand that Mr. Delarada may not have had time to review the minutes and that Councilwoman McGraw is not here. However, it just takes 3 votes to approve the minutes. Lisa Weber's here, Supervisor Syed, and Bill. You're all here, probably have reviewed these minutes because some of them go back to May. So while it does not require a unanimous vote, you're still voting to set it aside, and I'm just wondering why. I thought that this might happen, so I checked the minutes of our neighboring towns. Scotia has minutes updated and posted on their website through September 1st. Duanesburg, August 15th. The town of Colony, September 12th. Bethlehem, September 11th. Clifton Park, September 3rd. City of Schenectady, August 26th. What is going on here? Is there something that this board does not want to put forth on the public domain of their website? I think that is a real serious question that needs to be answered because we have almost 4 months of minutes that have gone drafted by Michelle Martinelli, but not approved by this board. What really is it that the board does not want the public to hear? So the cynic in me says it must be my comments that called out Councilwoman McGraw's actions on her social media Facebook page that she ran. But the optimist in me says maybe there's something else. So I brought my comments from June 11th that I submitted, and I'm going to resubmit them to the record tonight. And hopefully in 30 days, these comments, along with the rest of the business you conduct here, will be posted, put forth to be approved by this board, and approved along with the rest of the minutes since May. This is an embarrassment for our town. And with that, I'm submitting these comments from June 11th to be made a part of tonight's record.
Thank you.
All right, so hello, I'm Greta Merrill, Girl Scout Troop 2351. I'd like to thank the many people at Town Hall that helped me throughout my Silver Award project to increase pedestrian safety in Niskayuna. I'd also especially like to thank the Superintendent of Highways for installing the crosswalk, Alexis Kim for helping me navigate the town code, and Supervisor Yasmin Saeed for being an absolutely wonderful project advisor for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Privilege of the floor is still open if anyone else would like to speak.
I'm Diane O'Donnell, 1921 Mayfair Road. First, I want to offer my appreciation to the town board and the highway department for the new stop signs with the reflectors on Mayfair Road, but more importantly, the big white lines. And now that I'm a retired person, I look out my windows a lot more. And I really think that though they're not solving the stopping problem, I really see a big improvement in the last couple of days since they were put up, Ray. And so much appreciation to that. And maybe we can do it in other places in the town because we have a problem everywhere. The second thing too is I'd like to comment again on the minutes. My understanding is that minutes are supposed to be available to the public within 2 weeks after the meeting takes place, that the town clerk does not have to have the board approval in order for them to be made available to the public. So it really is a huge question why we are so far behind on our minutes when we're supposed to be providing communication to the residents of Niskayuna.
Thank you.
Hello, friends and neighbors. My name is Tom Hodgkins. I live on Rosendale Road. I would like to stand with all of our neighbors that have spoken about the minutes. This is very important, but it's a broader issue for the town than just the town board. If you try to access agendas for the finance committee or some of the other economic development committee, you can't find them. You try to find minutes for these other committees, you can't find them. You try to find video of the finance committee, the economic development committee, you can't find them. All of these things are hidden from the public. All of these things need to be documented and available for people to see. Agendas, minutes, and at least an audio of the meetings need to be documented. You can have meetings held down here, or you can get new equipment. It's fairly basic equipment you can get. Simple audio and simple video, you can connect them and tape the meetings upstairs. If you insist on meeting upstairs in that room, you can simply outfit a few microphones and a video camera very inexpensively. And that way the people can know what's going on in those meetings. Because those are the meetings where work happens. That's where things get done. Here, not so much work gets done. There's not deliberation, discussion. It's mostly just formality. But the real work of the government happens in the meetings. And some of the committees, they're not even acknowledged on the website. We have the historical committee, and finally, as I mentioned, that the ethics committee put a post up on that about evolved Niskayuna democracy, and finally, the ethics committee appeared. But there's also the farmers committee is not up there, and there's all of the committees are listed, and they have their board members, and they have certain they have their minutes and agendas, and some of them just still have nothing. And it's a real, well, it's not the way government should be run. Okay, you got to be transparent, open, and show everybody what you're doing. Because all this stuff is just happening upstairs and nobody knows what's happening unless we have people go up there and figure out stuff that's happening. So it's all of that needs to be open. So minutes, yes, but everything else as well. And that's the most of what happens. Most of what happens we don't know about. So as few of you know, I was haranguing you about this participatory budgeting. I started this sort of organization to evolve Niski democracy, and I created this logo here, and this kind of representative of the deliberation process. And so I think a lot about how government makes policy. I've spent a lot of time in government observing how decisions are made at a few different levels. And I'm thinking about what's the better way to make decisions. So this is kind of my art here is you have a bunch of people from all different segments of society, not just blue circles or red circles, but you have people with all different perspectives coming together, and they're in the deliberation circle. And some people are outside the circle, but they're kind of paying attention. And there's little people, there's kids involved as well. So that's what participatory budgeting is. And they're all involved, and the idea of the public policy is this little star in the center here. So this is my idea of how we get everybody involved with the process and to deliberate and talk about what's the best policy, and then we can implement it. Okay, so to getting more people involved, and there's a lot of, and so participatory budgeting, we had a forum that the supervisor was gracious to attend. I wish some more of you could have done that, but we're going to be having some more events. I think we're going to be getting something going with the high school. But really, this is really where a lot of people are moving in Europe. There's a lot of movement towards expanding democracy, because we see there's really a lot of weakness in our current democracies, and people are losing hope and faith in our current systems, because it's representative democracy. It's not democracy. It's a representative government, and that really doesn't work. As we've been seeing, it gets hijacked and corrupt, and it's just really doesn't work. So these people down in New York City, the Participatory Budgeting Project, they have. I went down to this forum where they had people come from all over the world. They had people come from Ireland and Scotland and Madrid and New York City, and they talked about all the innovative things that people were doing to try to expand. So their new project is Democracy Beyond Elections, because really democracy shouldn't just be once a year you go in and you press a button and that's democracy. That's not democracy. Democracy is action, discussing, getting involved. It's participatory budgeting. There's a lot of other things that people are doing. So I made some photocopies of this. When I made these photocopies for you, they didn't come out with the full report, but the full report is out. It's about 40 pages. It's nice, but I made some photocopies. I'll give these to you when I'm done. But it talks about how all the different things that people are doing as far as getting more people involved with the government. And I think it's really something that we should be considering, as far as just letting people know what's going on, and also getting more people involved with participatory budgeting. And hopefully with this new budget that's coming out, we can find some space in the budget to use participatory budgeting to get more people involved with allocating money. We can use some of the member item grants that we're going to go to the River Road Park, and we can use some of that money instead of just paving the nature trails. We can maybe use that and in the participatory budgeting process and get people to decide really what they think they should be spending the money on, rather than just a few people deciding, well, we need to pave the nature trails and then using the money for that. So that's one project I'm working on. I do need to say, and I don't want to talk about this. That concludes my evolution democracy. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff happening in governance and in developing governance, but I do want to say, and I don't want to talk about this, but there has been a defamation campaign being run by some individuals in this town, because I have been speaking up more, and you are all familiar with me now, because I've been speaking up more about issues. I've been speaking up about plans to change ODHEC and raise the whole properties. I've been speaking up about child gambling at some of the recreation programs, talking about loose spending of money and lack of accounting in certain programs, and just accountability of different things. So I've been talking a lot of different things, and people don't always like that. So there's been a defamation campaign being run against me, and it's gotten pretty over the line a number of times. At one time, we had 2 different people show up at my house at 8 o'clock at night and woke up my kids, and they were telling my kids lies. And then Conchetta woke up the next morning. She says, "Baba, somebody was here saying you're telling lies about them on the internet." And she was all worried. That's the first thing she said to me when she woke up. So some of this defamation campaign, this harassment campaign, is really too much. And I don't know why, but it needs to stop. And hopefully we can just move forward and talk about the issues, because that's what's in the best interest of the town. But all of this nonsense really just needs to stop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Gail King. I live at 1633 Balltown Road. I work at 2215 Knott Street. There's a very big concern for our town and our businesses and our people. And I'd like to comment on that. I didn't date this or put my name on it, so if you want to do that for me. Don't let the county of Schenectady destroy downtown Niskayuna. Please speak up and help us preserve our legacy of service to our town of Niskayuna. Stop the Knott Street $1,500,000 boondoggle project. Our town, county, and state need to figure out how to develop roads that safely satisfy the 4 needs of this area of downtown Niskayuna. This area has been continually small business since 1930, and today contains almost 130 jobs in 10 small businesses, and some of them aren't so small. Please help the businesses, employees, pedestrians, recreation, the bikes and the walkers, the residents. Do we need a fast road east to the ShopRite and west to the casino? Our town and county planners, MJ Engineering, are squeezing all of these needs together in 500 by 85 feet at the demise of the businesses and the customers, our neighbors. The stoplight and left-hand turn improvements have been canceled at Balltown Road. 25 plus fewer parking spaces. One way in from Balltown and out at Clifton Park Road. Cement sidewalks up the hill over our fragile sewer, water, and gas lines. Heavy construction, digging within a foot of our front doors and basements. We can fix the bumps in the sidewalk without jeopardizing our front doors. The county admits to 6 months delay. Of course, that will be 12 months. Businesses will be shut down and gone by then. Is this the ultimate plan? Empty buildings? People, do you want this? Call, speak up to our county, town, and state legislators. Write letters. Go to town and county meetings. How about a rally? Question those running for office. Do we need this expense and craziness? A 40-mile-per-hour road, that's what they tell us it has to be built at, with the traffic calming barriers. So in order to keep them from going 40 miles an hour, now we put things in to stop them. Does this make sense for $1,500,000? This area was planned as and can still be town center. Driving somewhere else to grocery shop, mail a package, get a haircut, permanent hair removal, that's me, pick up a prescription or a bottle of wine does not make sense. In the 1930s, in the remote area of Niskayuna, New York, a co-op grocery and gas tank filling station business started on the northwest corner of Knott Street and Clifton Park Road. The wide streets part of Knott Street was designed for more businesses on both sides. Knott Street East was a farm. That's where we are right now. Please explain the mindset of our local dignitaries who are punishing hometown small businesses. They are putting obstacles in the way instead of helping. Reducing parking by 25 plus spaces that are needed to meet the town code. If these buildings become empty and we try to get new tenants, we won't be meeting town code if this plan goes through. Oh yes, of course, businesses need safe and enough parking for clients and employees. We have town planners who say people will walk. Maybe a few in our 4 months of spring and summer. Not enough to keep the shops in business. Where are the sidewalks for the rest of Niskayuna? They want to put sidewalks on both sides of this 500 by 82 feet. Our school children who walk have mud and dirt or the middle of the road to walk to school on. The $1,500,000 being allocated for 500 by 85 feet of blacktop, cement, and barriers could build sidewalks for most of Old Niskayuna. Why not tax breaks for staying in business? ShopRite got the tax breaks to compete with the small businesses. ShopRite will be gone when the tax breaks run out. Why do our planners solicit out of town and out of our country and give them tax rebates? Small locals get squeezed out of business and fast roads to the casino. And you knew that comment was coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Privilege of the floor is still open if anyone would like to speak. Last call on privilege of the floor. If you'd like to speak, do so now. Seeing no one left willing to speak, I'm going to close privilege of the floor. We're going to move into our committee reports, and we're going to begin with Councilwoman Weber.
Thank you, Ms. Supervisor. I have 3 committees to report for tonight since I am covering highways and public works for Councilwoman McGraw. So I'm going to try to move quickly through the 3. I'll start with my committee, community programs. We had a very successful fall fun run Saturday evening. Over 90 people came out and ran the 5K with dozens more participating in the mile run and 100-yard dash, which is always a hit, especially with the kids. I want to thank the community program staff, the highway staff, the police department for getting the grounds ready for that day and providing protection. It was a great event. We finished up our farmers market series on September 14th, which was also successful. People are already asking us for more frequent markets next year, and I think that we'd like to see that happen. Program note from our senior center, there will be a home and health fair on October 17th from 11 to 1:30. That's at the senior center. That's always a nice event, free blood pressure screenings, eyeglass repair, and some other offerings there as well. In highways, crews have finished up paving roads for the 2009 season and will be out landscaping and hydro seeding areas along the roadsides. Patching potholes will continue, weather permitting. The yard waste pickup is on schedule with loose brush and loose leaf schedules appearing in your Niskayuna and in the Gazette this weekend. Crews are also finishing up work at the dog park with a drinking fountain being installed by the lacrosse rink. And if you haven't seen the improvements at the dog park, they're really fantastic. Crews will also be working on some drainage around town over the next month. Denise has called a meeting with Ray Smith, Laura Robertson, and the Tree Council leadership to discuss a more comprehensive approach on tree planting in our town. The tree crew will also be out trimming trees as well as doing the tree replacement program, planting trees through the month of October. Public Works. Denise and I have been working with Paul Sebesta, the Attorney's Office, and the State Public Service Commission on our cable franchise agreement. There will be a community meeting next month. I'd like to thank Alexis Kim for working so hard on this issue. The town staff and Schultz Construction are nearing the completion of a project to replace 1,500 feet of sewer force main on Trottingham Drive and Imperial Drive. The design of the replacement water main on Mohawk Road is progressing. We hope to replace at least the lower portion of the main. That's the portion closest to Rosendale Road this year, and the remainder next spring. Let's see, we also have a new water and sewer maintenance worker being appointed tonight, Samuel Capobianco. So we'd like to welcome him also to our town staff. Also, what I'm looking very much forward to is our annual TV recycling and paper shredding event that'll be here in front of Town Hall on October 5th in the morning. Paper shredding is free. We are passing a resolution tonight to set the fees for the TV recycling. That is just a fee that we pass along to the recycling company for taking those TVs off of our hands and recycling them. It's a service we provide to just get all those TVs that you can't throw out of your homes and your basements and into the proper place for recycling. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're now going to move on to Councilman Delarada.
Thank you, Supervisor and Councilwoman Weber. I do chair the Economic Development and Historical Planning Committee. However, I was not able to do that the last time it met, and I do want to thank Councilwoman McGraw for chairing that. However, I can give the report on that. It met on September. We'll meet the first Friday of the month. It will meet this Friday. I believe it is October 8th that the next meeting will make here in the town hall. We do want to welcome a new assistant planner here, Clark Henry. I was not involved on that, but I did read his resume and was very impressed. He's going to be a great addition here to the town of Niskayuna. He has extensive history with Environment One Corporation, as well as with wastewater collection and pressure sewer systems and applications. So we're very anxious to get him started, and I know he can help out in a lot of different projects that we're currently doing here in the town of Niskayuna. So welcome aboard, Mr. Henry. I'm sure you're going to be a great addition. Also, the planning board is taking a pause on reviewing the Ace Hardware application for Balltown Road, and that is upon the applicant's request. They've been reviewing a proposal also to demolish the existing and long vacant Ruby Tuesdays building in Mohawk Commons, as well as a construction of a new Chase Bank, which would also add additional green space to Mohawk Commons. The ADA transition plan, the town is calling for a public hearing on that. You'll see that on tonight's resolutions. The town planner, Laura Robertson, will be doing a presentation on the plan at that public hearing, which will be on October 22nd. We look forward to hearing from residents on this very important plan and step for our town. That's going to include a lot of ADA compliant walkways and areas here in the town of Niskayuna, including what's going to be happening in downtown Niskayuna, right by the ShopRite Plaza on the corner of Knott Street in Balltown. The community choice aggregation, we continue to be supportive of and move forward with that. It is going to happen. It is happening in the capital region. And tonight we have a resolution to sign a contract with Mega and will begin additional public outreach following this step. Our next committee meeting, is this Friday, September 27th at 8:15 a.m. And I do want to thank the town board and our council members, Lisa Weber and Denise Murphy McGraw. There was a demolition of another zombie house, the one on Mohawk, and we are now working on Consol and Van Antwerp, and hopefully we'll get these zombie houses cleared up as quickly as possible. As you know, we did enlist the help of Metroplex, and hopefully they will be very proactive in helping us along with that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman McParlin.
Thank you, Supervisor. As you know, I chair the Police and Public Safety Committee. We met September 3rd. Operationally, we discussed having some active shooter training here at Town Hall and increasing some of the safety measures for our staffing here at Town Hall. We discussed interviews with our lieutenant and sergeant positions that are going to be available. We also discussed a clerk position because of the new state laws regarding discovery laws for evidence, and we feel that it might be necessary for us to increase our staffing in the clerk area for that. We also discussed the possibility of tasers somewhere down the road, so the chief and deputy chief are going to look into that. We've got our new police cars. We got a resolution to pay for them, and the upfitting for those is going to be occurring at Niskayuna Tire very soon. Training-wise, we have mandatory AED, CPR, and fire extinguisher training for our staff. That will be completed in September and October. Citizen issues. We had a resident from 1549 Wyoming Ave come to our meeting to discuss traffic and speed on that road. So we will be deploying our speed trailer out there and continuing to do our surveys to see if any problems do exist on that road and what we might be able to do to curtail those. Community events, we had the food truck festival on the 15th. That went off very well. We had all of our staffing there by our police department, which was paid for by the sponsor of that event. All went well. Farmers Market, Carrot Festival, and I want to thank everyone for their involvement with the Niskey Fall Fun Run, both our police department and the auxiliary department that help out to make that event a very successful event. And a shout out to community programs also for that event. Very well attended here. Town code wise, we discussed fire pits with the fire chief and the police chief. Regulations for those are posted on the town's website. We also are working with our legal department, getting some policies hopefully in place for public events so that we have a little more notice for when these events will occur and what type of staffing we may need to do at the town level to be able to have these events in the town for outside organizations. Court issues, we had no court issues. The fire department had a very nice 9/11 ceremony here at Town Hall, right out in front here of Town Hall at our Veterans Memorial. If you were there, it was a very nice event. And if you weren't, please come next year. It's every 9/11 around 9 o'clock in the morning. School district, we did discuss school bus cameras. I'm sure if you've watched the news, some other areas around us are getting bus cameras. So we're just in the exploratory stage of that. The school district has not come to us, but there are definitely legal things that the town might have to get involved in if the school district decides that that's a route that they might take. And personnel-wise, we have run one recruit in the academy who is doing well. Our next meeting is October 1st at 8 a.m. right here at Town Hall in the Schaefer Room. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to the supervisor's report. And to begin, I would like to touch briefly on the minutes. While we have tabled them this evening until next meeting, I could certainly appreciate the fact that Councilman Delarada may need more time to review these, but going forward, I will not be in favor of further tabling of these minutes. We receive them on Friday afternoons, so we have Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and all of Tuesday to review them. I think that's adequate time, so going forward, I hope that we can all have an opportunity to review and approve these minutes. Earlier this month, we held the last of our farmers markets, and it was a tremendous success. It was the best attended market that we've had. Our market committee is reconvening next week to discuss what we can do better, any further opportunities, what went wrong, any opportunities for improvement. So I encourage anybody who has any comments or questions to contact me, contact any one of the town board members. We want to hear what your feedback is. So if we are going to bring the market back next year, which we are very hopeful that we are going to do, we want to make sure that it's the best market that it can possibly be. So please share with us your comments. Last week, I was pleased to welcome Graham's Coffee Parlor to Niskayuna. It's always great to see a new business come to Niskayuna. We wish, on behalf of the town board, Katrin and all of her staff, tremendous success. It is located on State Street, right across from Mansion Square. Incredible coffee. If you're a coffee lover like me, please go. Wonderful staff, wonderful person, longtime Niskayuna family. And so it's always a great thing to welcome another local business. 2 weeks from now, on October 10th, I will be presenting at the Schenectady County Environmental Sustainability Networking Forum. That's a mouthful. I'll be discussing sustainability success that we've had here in Niskayuna. I'm also going to be joined by other local and municipal leaders, the mayor of Schenectady, some other town supervisors, as well as some state and other officials speaking about sustainability initiatives that we're taking on here, just in New York State and at the municipal level as well. And for a budget update, we are approximately 1 week away from filing the tentative budget, which is due September 30th. And we've had our budget meetings with department heads as well as board members. So those progress very well. Those are completed. And we have 3 budget forums that are scheduled. So that's really everybody's opportunity from the public. All of the residents, please come to one or all of these budget forums so that you have an opportunity to share your questions about the budget. You can see the budget presentation. You can hear our dialogue back and forth. So they're very informative, and those dates are Wednesday, October 2nd at 5 p.m., and all of these are posted online as well. So that's Wednesday, October 2nd at 5 p.m., Thursday, October 10th at 5 p.m., and Thursday, October 16th at 5 p.m. And all those budget workshops and budget hearings, are going to be in this room. So we have 1 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, all begin at 5 p.m. And they're going to roll until about 6:30 or 7, or until there are no further questions. And that concludes my supervisor's report. We're now going to move on to our resolutions, and we're going to begin with Resolution 2019-241, sponsored by Councilwoman Weber. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to appoint an instructor for the town's youth pre-K soccer program and to amend resolution number 2019-117.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McParlin.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
5 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-242, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to call for a public hearing on Americans with Disability Act transition plan for pedestrian facilities within the public right-of-way.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-243, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to appoint an assistant planner.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-244, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the supervisor to enter into a community choice aggregation administration agreement with Mega.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-245, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to make certain budgetary modifications.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-246, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to accept and enter into a multi-use path easement agreement.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
Councilman McPartlin
Bill.
seconds on that.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-247, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw and Councilman Delarada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to appoint a resident to the town's historical committee.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-248, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize payment to the City of Albany for sludge disposal.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-249, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to set fees for shredding event at Town Hall.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-250, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to employ a water maintenance worker in the Water and Sewer Department.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-251, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the town supervisor to enter into an agreement to permit the placement of a fence within the portion of a town easement.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have.
Councilwoman Weber, do you want a
Councilwoman Weber.
second? Okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-252, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to employ a grounds maintenance worker in the Parks Department.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-253, sponsored by Councilwoman McGraw. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to enact rules and regulations for the use of Niskuna Dog Park to amend Resolution Number 2005-243.
Thank you. I will second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-254, sponsored by Councilman McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the purchase of 2 vehicles for the police department.
Thank you. I will second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-255, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the town supervisor to enter into custodial agreement with First National Bank Scotia and M&T Trust Company.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-256, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the town supervisor to enter into a certificate and approval agreement with First National Bank of Scotia.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Next resolution, 2019-257, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution to authorize the town supervisor to enter into a contract for credit card purchase processing at Town Hall.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I got one question about this. So is this the processing unit that you thought would be best, this particular company?
Yes.
It is. Okay. And then you're going to work with Diane possibly in her office to go over to this?
Correct,
also, right?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Yes, we're looking forward to it becoming easier and more efficient to do business at Town Hall with the addition of these credit card machines.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Our last resolution, 2019-258, sponsored by Supervisor Syed. Will the clerk please read?
A ceremonial resolution honoring Greta Merle for improving pedestrian safety and accessibility to public facilities.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Congratulations, Greta, and thank you very much. You've made our community a better place. Thank you.
Thanks. Are there any further comments? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Delarada.
Yes.
Councilman McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weber.
Yes.
Supervisor Syed.
Yes,
4 ayes.
and this resolution passes. Congratulations. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, subsections D and F. At the conclusion of executive session, we're going to make a motion to adjourn. We will not discuss any further business at the conclusion of executive session. So I made the motion. If I could have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of entering into executive session signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we're now going to enter into executive session. Everybody have a wonderful evening.